Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Yomi. My name is Yomi, and I'm going to be telling you how my camera was stolen in Madrid. Just to start off, I have never filmed anything with this specific camera before. This is a new camera. I haven't taken a photo, I haven't taken a video. I just got this camera in the mail. The quality is very good, but I'm going to be talking about how my camera was stolen in Madrid. So this past summer, I was living in Morocco for 2 months, and it was World Cup time. So I thought, why don't I fly to Spain? Because Spain was going to be in the World Cup final, Spain versus Argentina. So I'm like, if Spain wins, I'm sure there will be parades in the street, and I think Spain will win. So Spain is the country right above Morocco. Like, they're actually connected, right? So it was very inexpensive to fly to Spain. I think it was under $30. So I flew to Spain and stayed there for a day and a half. I got there in the nighttime. I watched the game. It was amazing. The game was amazing. And then Spain won. So I went out in the streets, walked around, I had my camera, and I was taking photos of people in the streets, parading, waving the Spanish flag. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime type experience that you could see. And then I decided to go inside because it's late, my head is throbbing, I have a really, really bad headache. So I'm like, I can watch the parades tomorrow morning and march with people in the streets and celebrate the win. But I have a really bad headache, so I'll go to sleep tonight, and I have the full day tomorrow to enjoy the parades. So I go to sleep, I wake up, and I sit in the common area of the lounge. Mind you, I'm staying in a hostel, right? So a hostel is basically a type of lodging situation where you're sleeping with many people in the same room. It's usually 4 to 8 people in a room, 4 to 16 people, but usually 4 to 8 people. And there are bunk bed situations, and there are many people sleeping in the same room. Hostels are generally pretty safe. Sometimes there's a bar connected to the hostel. There are usually many different group activities, like you can go clubbing with people in the hostel, or they'll go on excursions, like you can go on excursions with people who run the hostel, and you can do adventurous activities. You meet people from all around the world, and you kind of have this bond. So anyone who's been traveling or backpacking or who travels around the world knows that hostels are a fun environment to be in, where you can meet a lot of people. And people leave their bags in the room, they leave their stuff in their beds, they leave their phones in their beds, and it's not very typical for things to be stolen in a hostel, because you're kind of in this environment where people love to travel and love to meet other people. So it's kind of just not that environment where things tend to get stolen. So I went to the common area, I went to the lounge after waking up, and I'm just sitting there, like, talking with someone, and then I go back to my room, and I realize that my camera is not in my room. It's not in my bed, and it's not in my bag. And mind you, I had my camera last night while walking around in the streets of Madrid, and I also had my camera when I came back into the hostel. And mind you, in your hostel, like, you can put things in a locker, but they don't provide the lock for you. So you would have to go out and buy a lock. So mind you, I had gotten in to Madrid at maybe 8 o'clock, and the game, like, was maybe at 9 or 10. So it was very late. So by the time I got in, like, it was too late for me to go and buy a lock, right? So I would have to buy a lock the next day. Not even enough time to buy a lock, and my camera was already stolen from the room, which was so absurd, because I've stayed in probably over 50 hostels. I've met people from so many countries all around the world staying in hostels. I've only had good experiences meeting people, engaging with people. I've never had anything stolen. And people will leave their full suitcases in the room. They'll leave their full, like, cherished belongings in the room. And just for someone to go into probably my bed, because yeah, it's just a horrible situation. So I was in Madrid for that full day, and I was just sad. So I didn't even get to go out in the street and enjoy the parade that was happening that day. Mind you, I said the day before I had a headache, so I went in early and didn't really watch the parade that much. So the next day, I didn't go to the parade at all, because early morning I realized my camera's been stolen. I talked to the people who own the hostel, and they just shrug their shoulders and say, well, it's your belongings, it's not our fault. So they don't even help me find the camera, which I thought was really low on their part. And then the next day I flew out of Madrid. So I flew out of Madrid without my camera. Mind you, my camera had my SD card in it, so I had all my memories from Morocco and from, like, the past few months. So it was just really sad. And this was the third thing in the past, like, 12 months that had been stolen from me on my travels. First, my pack of mini SD cards from the past like 8 or 9 years that had my video footage from the past 8 or 9 years, and that had dozens and dozens of videos and thousands of video clips that I could have made probably over like 300 videos with for YouTube, all stolen while I was staying in the Sahara Desert in Morocco. Then maybe like 9 months later, I go to live in Morocco for the summer. Somebody steals my phone during a festival, which I made a video about. And then a month after having my phone stolen, I have my camera stolen, which is like my most precious prize possession that I won actually through a scholarship. I didn't even have the money to buy the camera. I applied for a scholarship to get this camera, and I won the scholarship. So it just goes to show that you have to be careful with your things. It's not my fault that my camera was stolen. Somebody else took my camera, and that's their problem. That's their fault, and they're gonna deal with the consequences of stealing. Like, they're gonna deal with that guilt for the rest of their life. But as for me, like, I just realized that, like, even though you can have 50 good experiences in a place, there's always going to be the 51st experience where you're going to have a bad experience, and it's going to teach you that there's bad people in the world. There's people that steal things. There's people that take things for you. The past month has been really hard knowing that my camera was stolen, and that camera was really expensive. I'm not going to tell you how much money that camera was, but it's a very, very expensive, high-quality camera. And I have an idea of who I think stole it. I'm not sure. But the weird thing is, at the front of the hostel, there's security. There's a man at the front desk who checks if you have a wristband, like showing that like you belong in the hostel. And it's like, if everyone in the hostel belongs in the hostel because there's a security there, who stole my camera? It would have to have been someone in the room. And I remember when I was staying in my room, there was a few shady people staying there, but there was this one guy, and he, as soon as I walked into the room, we were talking, and he was like, oh, like, that's a nice camera. Like, what do you use it for? And he was asking me about my camera, and I think maybe he took my camera, but I'm not sure. It could have been someone else. I don't know. But that just goes to show that you have to be careful with your things when you travel, wherever you go, anywhere, even if you go in a hostel. And the funny thing is, I had told myself that I don't want to stay in a hostel again, right? Before going to Madrid, I'm like, I'm done staying in hostels because they're not super comfortable, and like, as you get older, you want to be in your own space when you travel. You don't always want to be with 7 other people in a room who are snoring, who are loud, and maybe one of the people in the room is kind of rude. Like, so when you get older, you want to choose comfort as opposed to just choosing the cheaper option. But the hostel that I found was so inexpensive that I'm like, I cannot pass on this opportunity. I guess I'll stay in one last hostel. And it was literally to my detriment. But the last month was really hard knowing that my camera was stolen, and it put me in like a really, really bad place emotionally. And I just want you to know that, like, when you steal someone's belongings or when you take something from someone, that you don't know how that will affect them. Like, this camera, like, was so important to me. It had a lot of my memories, and like, I also needed it for like my research, because I do research. So it's like, I actually needed that camera for something. So the fact that you would just take my camera because you want it, like, you don't know like the type of place that can put someone in. So I just want to like put those different perspectives out there. But I'm trying to move on from it. Like, I have a new camera now. I'm trying to get back into like being positive and stuff. But I just want to let you know that when you travel, these things can happen. I made a video where I got really sick when I traveled. I made a video where my phone was stolen. I made a video where I got in a car accident in Thailand. These things happen. So when I talk about my travel journeys, I want to tell you like the full extent of the things that can happen like when you travel. But basically, that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and thank you. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you so much.